AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. The news around college football really is taking over all the headlines today. Is Brenden Sorsby. He's been granted his injunction. By now you probably know that, so he's eligible. But that has not stopped reaction from coming around college football today. Maybe the most surprising to date is just minutes ago, Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark released a statement. It's all over social media. It's on the, if you want to go see it, you can. I'll read it. It's a brief statement. I'll read it for you. But I think the reason that this is really impactful is, remember, this is the Big 12 Commissioner. Texas Tech plays in the Big 12. They are now favored to win the Big 12 and have the best odds of anyone in the Big 12 to win the national championship. So it greatly behooves the Big 12 to have Brenden Sorsby play. It gives their best team the best shot of making a run to the playoff. Yet here's Brett Yormark, quote, "The ramifications of today's ruling are significant and could have broad impacts across college athletics, creating great concern amongst our membership. I've been consulting with our key stakeholders and have scheduled meetings with our conference ADs and executive board this week. We are also in touch with Charlie Baker and anticipate the NCAA to appeal the order in the next 24 to 48 hours. We will continue to monitor and evaluate the situation." Let me remind you, that's the Big 12 commissioner whose league stands to benefit from Brenden Sorsby playing. That don't sound like someone who's fired up about Brenden Sorsby being eligible. You know what that statement would read if Brett Yormark were fired up that Sorsby got the injunction? It would read something like this: "We are pleased with the outcome of today's hearing in Texas State Court. Brenden Sorsby has fought valiantly to overcome his addiction, and we look forward to him leading Texas Tech on the field in Lubbock this fall." That's what it would sound like if he were fired up that Sorsby got the injunction. That don't sound like a dude that's fired up. That sounds like a dude that realizes, But I'll go back to the point I've been making. You can blame Brenden Sorsby, and of course I do. He broke a rule, and put on your big boy pants, kid. You broke a rule, there's consequences, you're ineligible. I also look and go, dude's trying to put about $5 million in his pocket. Don't blame him. He goes in the NFL supplemental draft, he ain't getting $5 million. Not for this season. So I understand the financial ramifications for Sorsby, why he's trying to play. I understand for Texas Tech why they want Sorsby to play, gives them the best chance to win. But if you're actually concerned with the, quote, ramifications of today's ruling are significant and could have broad impacts across college athletics, creating great concern amongst our membership, well, then the adults in the room could step up and say, yeah, kid, you're not playing. Like, I've gotten some pushback on this today. I was reading some texts on my text line during the break. And, well, there's one guy. Hang on. He said, trying to find it. He was effectively saying, here it is, John. It's worth noting, no university president has the power to overturn a court order. Hey, John, I'm not advocating a university president overturning a court order. My point is, you can't play on the football team if you're not enrolled in the school. And the university president can tell that football player, you broke a rule, you're ineligible to play under NCAA rules, so you can get that court order, but you're not welcome to play on our football team. You can go play somewhere else, just you're not going to play on our team. Like, the injunction doesn't say he has to play at Texas Tech. It just says the NCAA can't rule him ineligible. Well, there still has to be a school willing to let him play. What are you going to do next? So a court forces him to dress. Now the coach has to play him? Go to court? We mandate you play at least 74 snaps a game. Like, what are you talking about? Ultimately, it's still a university that has its discretion to determine who's enrolled in school there and who can play on the football team. Joey McGuire can be like, yeah, we're not offering you a scholarship anymore. Of course, they're not going to do that because they want to win, and he gives them the best chance to do that. But again, that speaks to the point that I've been making all along, is the adults in the room are the ones who could actually enforce the rules that that could enact the rules the NCAA is trying to enforce. But they won't do it because they want to win. No different than Ole Miss with Trinidad Chambliss. No different than what LSU is going to try to do with R.J. Lewis. So I ain't pointing the finger anywhere else. There's a lot of people at LSU not happy about me saying that. I really don't give a darn. Right is right and wrong is wrong. There are rules. This isn't Smokey. There are rules. Big Lebowski. Love that movie. Anyway, yes, there are ways that you can solve this problem without needing congressional intervention. If the adults in the room would, this has been my point all along, man. NIL, rev share, injunctions. If the adults in the room would just start adulting, all of this could be fixed pretty easily. They won't do it. They stand to lose too much. I mean, is that hard? Is it really that hard? If you elect to be a member of the NCAA, and in so doing, you agree to abide by their rules and their enforcement. And what's happening now is player doesn't like the ruling, goes to court, gets an injunction. My point is, before the player goes to court to get the injunction, if the adults at the university would just say, sorry, NCAA said you're ineligible. We are dues-paying members of the NCAA. You're ineligible. Then it's over. But they will do it. They stand to lose too much by not having Sorsby play or Chambliss play at Ole Miss or R.J. Lewis, which I'm sure they're going to do at LSU. And I'm going to have to sit here and crush LSU and Will Wade and the whole thing for that. I had no problem with them playing international players because it's within the rules. You don't like that? You want to change the rule? Fine, change the rule. And there won't be international pros in basketball. Okay, but for now you can. Go get them all. I don't care. Everybody else does it. You don't like it, change the rule. The problem is when you have rules that the NCAA is trying to enforce and the adults are turning a blind eye to it. Y'all can fix it. Oh, we need Congress. No, you don't. You need to be an adult. All right, it's a busy day for Ross Dellenger, no doubt. He's going to join us next when we come back. It's after further review. We're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know, Parish Construction and Roofing. That's me and Terrio and Tilly and Joe and our whole staff and crew. Man, we'd love to help you out. By the way, big shout out to Michaela Williams and Mylasia Fulwiley. We did an NIL deal with those two LSU Tigers earlier this year, and they were both members of the FIBA 3-on-3 gold medal team representing the USA. If you missed it, Michaela actually hit the game-winning shot in the gold medal game. So they took home a FIBA gold medal representing the United States of America. We're thrilled to have them partnered with us over at Parish Construction and Roofing. Do business with someone you know. ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. All right, quick break. Ross Dellenger next. Stay here.
After further review.
I love telling you about the Renaissance and the Watermark because I love going to both those properties. It doesn't matter if maybe you're looking for a little staycation this summer. Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet is a gorgeous property. You got Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel, which is a great casual upscale dining experience. Chef Reed just redid the menu. So many awesome options there. That indoor-outdoor flow from the restaurant bar area at Tallulah to the terrace outside, which, man, you're sitting just on the other side of Bluebonnet. But because of the way they have the big brick wall and the fountain with the fire and all, like, you don't feel like you're sitting on Bluebonnet. You feel like you've escaped into this beautiful, serene space. Anyway, it's an awesome spot. You got family coming in for whatever this summer, or maybe you're starting to plan weekends for home football games, or you got an event coming up in 26, or you're planning ahead to 27. Renaissance Baton Rouge would love to host you. Right there on Bluebonnet near I-10. Check them out today. It's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
The NCAA, that's 4 letters. That's nothing more. That's not an enforcement body. That's not a governing body. It used to be, and truthfully, I don't ever know that it had the teeth we thought it did. It was just, it barked really loud for a long time. And so schools were scared and got in line and they were complicit. And how foolish do you feel today, by the way, if at any point in your recent history, as a player or a coach or an institution, you self-reported violations, or you admitted to violations, or you just accepted NCAA sanctions? How foolish must you feel?
That's Josh Pate. I would actually ask how much integrity do you lack if you didn't? Kind of like Texas Tech today. Ross Dellenger is with us. He's at Ross Dellenger, Yahoo. He's been all over this story. How are you today?
Busy, Matt. Busy. Been a busy Monday, no more quiet summer off-season weeks in college sports these days.
What did you make of Brett Yormark's statement?
I guess kind of expected. He outlined that the concerns that league members have over this issue, and they'll be talking, I think, this week, conference Big 12 ADs and presidents about possible further action on Texas Tech, because as we know, the ruling covered just the NCAA rule, and the NCAA enjoining or prohibiting the NCAA from carrying out its rule to penalize Brenden Sorsby, but it didn't necessarily do that with the Big 12. So on the conference level, the Big 12 could conceivably take action, and certainly you already have Big 12 ADs coming out to us publicly saying that they've at least talked about not playing Texas Tech. It's hard to believe that they'll actually do that, but they have discussed it at least in the past.
Okay, wait. Are you saying that the Big 12 could effectively rule Brenden Sorsby ineligible?
Big 12 could more so rule Texas Tech as a program would be ineligible in a variety of ways. So probably not as much not eligible for instance, Matt, I guess a good example. The league presidents could, if they usually conference bylaws have sort of a line in there, and I think the Big 12 does, where a league's board of presidents and chancellors can penalize members for, quote, conduct detrimental to the conference. And that could mean anything. It could mean, hey, Texas Tech, you can't play in the conference championship game. Or, hey, Texas Tech, you have to forfeit a couple of Big 12 conference games or something. They could do a lot of variety of things.
What's been the reaction, by and large, today from people in and around college football you've spoken with?
Outrage. Outrage is the main word I would use. There's a lot of anger and frustration. I think when everybody sort of got over the shock of it, because even lawyers, longtime lawyers, even those who have fought against the NCAA, Matt, and hate the NCAA, have come out publicly as being stunned by the ruling. This is the cardinal rule of college athletics. In athletics in general, major sports in America, the cardinal rule: do not bet on your own team. And for a judge to basically, in a lot of ways, right, limit or diminish that sort of rule was shocking to a lot of people. So once they moved past the shock of this, then it became real anger and outrage.
I noticed, and I've been on air, obviously, for the last 2.5 hours, so I'm just kind of following along with your Twitter as best I can. I see you're getting reaction from Nebraska's AD and from Georgia, and there's stuff from the commissioners of the Big Ten and the SEC, which have nothing to do really with the Big 12. But what are other leagues? Is there a consensus with what other leagues are doing as a result of this ruling today?
Well, I think it just makes, I think it makes the idea, and I think I've talked about it on your show a few times, this self-governance model, right, that the SEC has long discussed, but that has really picked up steam this spring and summer. It was a top conversation agenda item at spring meetings. Everybody loves to talk about the playoff, right? And the expanded playoff, and what's the format going to look like? Brother, that wasn't the top 5 on agenda items in Destin, right? It's way down the list. There's so much other more important stuff going on. And one of the things that has come up and came up was a center topic at Destin is, can we take all, Matt, these national NCAA rules that can't be enforced because courts have deemed them antitrust violations? Can we take those rules and can we put them at the conference level, and each conference just enforce the rules and create their own rules? And there's 2 reasons to do that, right? You might be asking, well, why would you do that? If you can't enforce it on the national NCAA level, why would you be able to enforce it any other way? Well, I think that, number one, it's easier to enforce and regulate smaller groups, right? You have 16 in the SEC as opposed to 350 in NCAA Division I, or even 130 in FBS. But number 2, you may evade antitrust scrutiny because you're not what they call a market power, because you don't have the whole a big slice of the market. Now, people will argue with that the SEC does have market power, but they believe that they may not. So that conversation, you asked about what are people talking about outside of the Big 12 and the ramifications of this ruling, that conversation, I would guess, will be accelerated. And as you mentioned, the Nebraska athletic director, Troy Dannon, mentioned it to me. Jerry Moorhead, the Georgia president, mentioned it again to me. This just sort of justifies more that concept or idea to govern yourself.
Charlie Baker today said this is reason why we need congressional intervention. Do you think that's ultimately where this is headed? I know you and I have talked about this for years, Ross, and that it's always been a feeling like that never really felt realistic, like Congress would be able to agree on anything. But is that where we are?
Yeah. I think that that's it. I think that it's going to be, it's going to be really difficult to continue to regulate college sports in some way at the national level. It's just been difficult, and because of court rulings. And so I think you're going to see all these rules sort of come down to a more local level in the conference wide instead. And I think that's what you're going to see going forward. Now, all that can change, Matt, depending on congressional legislation. Right? There's a bill in the Senate been introduced, but the Big Ten and SEC are against the bill. That's the two biggest stakeholders in the industry that are against the bill that regulates the industry. Guess what? That's a problem. There's also the Congressional Black Caucus against the bill as well. That's going to be a problem, especially when the bill gets to the House, if it gets to the House of Representatives. So there's a lot of opposition there. There's a big call tomorrow afternoon with Big Ten and SEC presidents and the two senators, Cantwell and Cruz, two separate calls to try to, the way I've heard it, rectify misunderstandings in the bill with those presidents in those leagues. So we'll see where it goes from there. But a congressional bill could solve some of this by providing into law, codifying things into law to allow the NCAA to enforce its rules.
All right. Last one. I know you shared the comment from Texas Tech AD Kirby Hocutt, basically endorsing, supporting the decision today, and welcoming Brenden Sorsby back. Do you think there's a scenario, and maybe this, Ross, maybe you can give me an educated opinion here, or maybe this is just completely your opinion, but do you think there's a way that the pressure could build so much against Texas Tech in this situation that they reverse course and say, we're not going to let Brenden Sorsby play?
That is a great question, and I don't know the answer. I think we'll know a little better at the end of this week, maybe the answer after athletic directors in the Big 12 and presidents meet. If there is a move by the presidents and chancellors of the Big 12 to further penalize Texas Tech if they play Brenden Sorsby, perhaps you see the school back off a little bit and maybe penalize him more games. Maybe there's some kind of resolution they reach with the conference. You could maybe see that happening, Matt.
Be fascinating, man. Like, this is, Ross, for a sport, especially on Twitter, where you never have unanimity. Like, do you have everyone, like all of the ones, I mean, unanimously looking at this as absurd, speaks to how absurd it is. It took this, apparently, to get all of college football Twitter to agree. All right, Ross Dellenger, at Ross Dellenger, Yahoo. Go read his stuff. Yahoo's free, too, which is great. So you can get Ross's great reporting for free at Yahoo. Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Matt. Good to be on.
All right, man. Be well. It's after further review. Brought to you by Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Real quick, one of the things a lot of you have asked has been, well, like, could the NCAA just make Texas Tech forfeit any games that Sorsby plays in? We had Gabe Feldman, sports law professor, on in hour one. He gave the answer to that question.
There is a rule of restitution, which basically says that you can't, even if the decision is reversed later on, you can't go back and require the team to forfeit its games. The NCAA has in the past said that if you win an injunction but then it gets reversed, they can go back and forfeit all the games. And the judge here said, we're not allowing you to implement that rule. There's nothing in there that says they can't require them to forfeit the games on the front end. And I suppose there's an argument they could say, look, Sorsby, you can play, we're just not going to count the games. But my guess, based on the order, is that the judge wouldn't allow them to do that, and that the plaintiff's lawyer would go back to court to say, look, the whole point of this order was to allow him to play without penalty. And if you require them to forfeit the games, it's basically saying you can't play.
There's your answer. All right, Cade Cooper. Let's start some football. Cade Cooper committed to LSU. 4-star wide receiver. He's going to join us next on AFR.
After further review.
Want to feel your best? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help you do it. YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com. Yes, they do ED treatments. That's part of what they do, but that's only a part of what they do. The bulk of what they do, hormone replacement therapy, peptide therapy, getting you feeling your best inside out. And I say this often. Sometimes you don't know how bad you feel until you start feeling good again. You know, when your body stops producing the hormones that contribute to how we feel, it's gradual. It's not like one day you feel great and the next day you feel like mud. It is a gradual decline. And so it's like the frog that gets cooked in the pot. Slowly turn up the heat. Before you know it, you're cooked. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. At Goodwood, they have the lowest prices and never any contracts. YourGoodwood.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
Maybe one of the best tweets that I've seen so far today came from Tyrann Mathieu. Can I return back to college football? I only played 2 seasons. Should have 2 more eligibility years left. Can you find me a judge in Louisiana who can see to it that Honey Badger gets to finish his last 2 years of college football? Who's going to say no? I mean, the absurdity of that is only magnified by the fact that it's not absurd. Seriously. Like, who's going to say no? Now, I think the real conversation we'd have to have is like, Tyrann's been retired now for a year. Like, you think he could still roll? How old's Tyrann? 32, 33? That's probably my bigger question right now about it. Let's see, Tyrann's 34. I don't know, man. We think 34-year-old Badger could come back out there and crush some kids? Maybe so. Run around against 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Maybe so. Maybe 34-year-old Tyrann could go out there and crush some kids. Hey, Cade Cooper is supposed to be with us right now, LSU wide receiver commit. Having a little trouble connecting with him on the phone. So if we can get him, great. We'll talk to him. If not, man, we'll try to reconnect and let's see if we can reschedule that for tomorrow or another day this week. We'll have Shay with us tomorrow. It's this is a crazy busy 24 hours. Okay, cool. We got him. Great. Crazy busy 24 hours. Lane Kiffin nabbed 4 commitments. The most recent of which is 4-star wide receiver Cade Cooper, who's good enough to join us on the show here for a couple minutes. Hey, Cade, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Doing awesome, man. I love your energy, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a great day.
Why is it such a great day?
Because I committed to the boot.
Let's go. Let's go, man. So why'd you pick LSU?
I think, going into it, originally I was, leaning towards Ole Miss. And then slowly my dad and I we were kind of like, let's just take the visit, see what they have to offer. And obviously, as soon as I went down, the vibe, the people, the community, the culture, everything just kind of hits you at once. And I was like, it's a no-brainer. I have to come to this place.
Okay, so why were you leaning Ole Miss? Take us through that recruitment, if you would.
I had known Coach LD. Ole Miss was one of the earlier schools to offer me after my junior season. And I just felt like I got a chance to build a relationship. I had been down there 3 times. And I kind of knew that they were replicating what the old Ole Miss had in Pete Golding and all the coaches and some of the coaches who stayed on staff. So I always thought, they had the potential to be just as good as they were last year.
So did you have a relationship with Lane Kiffin and George McDonald obviously were at Ole Miss. So they were. You had a relationship with them there?
I did not. So I was one of those late bloomers who Coach McDonald ended up seeing me after I dropped my top 6 schools. And after he saw that, he kind of reached out to me on Twitter, and he had let me know. He was like, I want to come out and watch you work out. And from there, that's kind of, that's where I ended up getting the offer. And we took it from there and just built that relationship. Like, he did everything to make sure that I felt valued. He came to the house, made sure he met my parents and my family. So I thought that was really important.
Interesting. So when was that, Cade, that you dropped your top 6 and that Coach McDonald got in touch?
I had dropped my top 6. That was on the date of, I'm checking right now. I'm pretty sure that was in the date. That was like in May.
Okay, so just recently, just about a month ago.
Yeah, it was recently.
Got it. So they made up a lot of ground on you then in a really short amount of time. What was it? I know you said when you got here, right? The culture and everything was great, but like, what was it over that month or so that allowed LSU to make up that much ground?
I really think that Coach McDonald and Coach Kiffin made a great deal of kind of just laying out the facts with me. Like, they made sure that I knew that, all the success that Ole Miss had came from them. And I think when you take a step back and you compare and you realize that these are the guys who made them great, I think it opened your eyes to a lot of things. And I think it was amazing because they got a chance to come down and see my family. And over the time, like, I got to FaceTime Coach Kiffin. And I think the relationship piece is really big. And also for my goal, which is to make it to the NFL, when you have facts and relationships, history can be made.
Cade Cooper is our guest, LSU wide receiver commit. Okay, we'll talk a little football here in a second, but so your first experience in Baton Rouge, I would guess, yeah?
Oh, yeah, that was my first time.
Okay, all right. Hit me with it. How was it?
It was amazing. As soon as we got down that night, we ended up eating dinner at the hotel. So we didn't go out to get any food, but the food in the hotel even was amazing. Like, I was shocked. First impression was great. So that was amazing. And then coming on Friday morning, Coach McDonald, Coach Kiffin, and I ended up waking up and going to a hot yoga class with them. And I thought that was pretty funny and pretty fun. And it was almost like a workout. Like, it was definitely very good. So I definitely loved that. And then throughout the weekend, we got a chance to see the campus, and the campus is very beautiful. Like, it caught me off guard because I didn't know what to expect. So being able to see a campus that, looks very beautiful, and you can see why people want to go to school there. And also they took my family and I through a course of staff meetings and meeting all the staff, and you can see a consistency and energy and competitiveness and then, like, genuine love for the staff. So I definitely think Baton Rouge made a great impression on me.
I know, it's great to hear, man. It's it's home for me. It has been for a long time. It's an awesome place. I noticed in your in the one of the photos, it was you, Coach McDonald, and Coach Sawyer Jordan. What were your impressions of Sawyer?
Sawyer, he's a great guy. Coach Sawyer is a great guy. We ended up being on the same team in a pickleball match against Coach McDonald and Coach Kiffin.
Oh,
and
no. Who won?
Could tell, you could tell there was a lot of trash talking. And we ended up winning, too.
Oh!
Yeah, he might not want to tell everyone that.
Lane does not like to lose, man. He
doesn't.
He tries to... He often tries to stack the deck in his favor, so that's how much he hates losing, man. So Sawyer, you and Sawyer beat him, huh?
Yeah, Coach Sawyer, he's definitely, like, great dude. Like, high energy. He's a loud guy. Like, you can tell he's passionate in the things he in football and LSU as a culture and just the family that they've built over time.
I got a couple more for you. I was looking at, like, all your profiles. There's like some have you as 6'2", some have you as 6'3", some you're 195, some you're 180. So, like, what are your actual measurements right now going into your senior year?
Right now I'm 6'2 3/4. So I like to round up as an athlete. I just say 6'3", but
sure.
I'm 6'2 3/4, and I weigh 198 pounds.
198
going into the season.
Okay.
Yeah, 198.
Did the coaches talk to you at all? Like, do you want to put on more weight? Are you good at right at 200 pounds? What do you think?
I think it's not going to, like, we haven't really talked too much about that. I don't really think it's going to be a matter of, like, slapping on weight. I'm not an underweight guy, and I'm not really overweight. So I think it's definitely going to be, like, monitoring. Obviously, I'm going to have to build more muscle mass and things of that nature just to be able to be more explosive, more strong, so that for the season I can be physically prepared to step up and potentially play early.
Yeah. What did they tell you about how you fit in the offense?
They definitely said I fit the offense well. They're a fast-paced offense who with receivers like Trey Harris and some of those old Ole Miss receivers who came through that, like you can kind of tell they're big body receivers who like to take shots. And I think I'm a player who favors the fade ball and the contested catch, deep plays. And I think that they definitely think I fit that role to be able to go make plays and definitely like move the ball down the field.
Did they talk to you about like early playing time and what to expect?
We definitely had conversations of it. They're a staff that, they're not scared to play anyone early, but obviously the reality is that we're all going to have to work hard and if we want to get a chance on the field. So nothing is going to be given to me. I'm going to have to work just as hard as everyone else on that field. So I think I'm definitely excited to be able to be pushed against some of the best DBs and some of the best receivers in the nation.
Very cool, man. Are you going to be an early enrollee?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So you'll be here in January. It'll be here before you know it, man. Congrats on your commitment. It's great to talk to you, man. We'll be in touch, I'm sure, all right?
Sounds good. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. It's Cade Cooper. Y'all give him a follow, man. He's on Twitter at Cade Cooper27, at Cade, C-A-D-E, Cooper 27. If you want to give him a follow, he's on Instagram as well. Love his energy, man. You can always tell, like, right first time you say a word to somebody and right out the chute, man, great day. How are you? I'm like, I like his energy. I need some of that. We all need some of that in our lives. Good on him, dude. Love that. And man, so LSU just got in the mix for him in May. So he was being recruited by Ole Miss. I mean, he got a big, long offer list. I mean, Ole Miss and Ohio State and Auburn and Notre Dame, and he's from Penn State. He's from Pennsylvania, some big-time schools. To basically get that prospect here, you have been recruiting for a month. You get him on campus. The first time here you close, that's impressive, man. That's a really nice job by that staff to get that one done across the finish line. All right. It's after further review. We are brought to you by Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. Remember, when we tell you about Arco every day, we're talking about industrial Generac generator power at Arco. That's what they do. You hear people all the time. Maybe you even have a home standby generator at your house. I do. I mean, we went through Ida. That was the last time we were ever doing that again. It's like, no. Power goes out, we got a generator at the house. Why should it be any different for your business? Power goes out, you need to make sure your business can stay online. That's where Arco Power Systems comes in. Everything's turnkey. They'll sell, service, install, rent your Generac industrial standby generator. So, start at arco.com, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. Home base is right there on Airline Highway near I-12 in Baton Rouge, but y'all, they service a gigantic area, north of Little Rock, east of Mobile, west of San Antonio, Houston, Austin, Dallas, everywhere. Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Final break of the show. Staring you straight in the face, Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks when we come back. Game 3 of the NBA Finals is tonight at the Garden. First time an NBA Finals game at MSG since 1999, 27 years. We'll see what Jimmy thinks about Game 3. We'll get to that for Auto Locks next on AFR.
AFR.
Man, we are into the summer. That much is abundantly clear. It's 86 degrees right now, high today of 89. Heat indexes are pushing closer to the triple digits as that humidity is going up. Remember, you can go inside where it's cool when the AC is blowing. Your AC never gets a break. That thing is sitting on the side of your house 24/7, 365, year after year after year. No matter the heat, humidity, rain, storms, dust, dander, insects, never gets a break. Want to make sure that thing is running efficiently to keep your family cool and comfortable throughout the summer and warm weather months? You need River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Need a metal building? You want ProForm Steel. Log on to proformsteel.com, proformsteel.com, proformsteel.com. Listen, If you're maybe you're a big builder, you're in the business, you know who Brandon Golson is. Well, this is the new venture, ProFormSteel.com, where they are always going to get you the best lead times. That matters. When you need quick turnaround for commercial or industrial buildings, 10-week lead time. Most other companies are in that 16 to 20-week range. Residential, 6 to 8 week lead time, and free delivery on every building. You buy it from them, they will deliver it to you for free. ProFormSteel.com. Check them out online. Metal buildings built right. Request a quote right there on the website at ProFormSteel.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks. Nope. We'll hit it anyway. I already teased. Just go to it.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
All right, when Jimmy's with us, we'll get Game 3 of the NBA Finals. His picks are up over at Louisiana sports.Net. Remember, always free. You can always get Otter Locks for free and everything for free over at Louisiana sports.Net. No paywalls, no article limits, none of that annoying stuff. All right. Knicks lead 2-0 right now. Heading back to MSG for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Mike Brown on Sunday talked about... Actually, let's not play Mike Brown. Let's play Josh Hart. Josh Hart, former Pelican, Sunday talked about what makes this Knicks team great.
Toughness, grit, physicality, energy, clutch plays. I think that's what you think of when you think of, Knick basketball. That's something that we want to do. We want to come out with energy. We want to come out with physicality and be focused on the game plan and go out there, and especially with the guys that we have in the locker room, we're going to make plays. We're going to make big plays. We're going to do those kind of things. And, that's kind of our brand, playing fast, and having fun.
All right. Otter, how are you? Otter, how are you?
Hey, I'm sorry, Matt. What's up, buddy? It took me about 3 minutes to get through. Something's wrong with the lines. But anyway, let's go to the NBA tonight.
Yeah. Fire away.
This is a matchup thing. It's a matchup. It's been widely documented, but so many of the Knicks players are in their prime. They're more seasoned. They're more mature, and there's rarely a team that goes through the NBA playoffs and wins a championship with such little experience. De'Aaron Fox was the only one to play 8 playoff games before their first playoff game this postseason. So we're going with the Knicks. When you get through all the hoopla and the hyped up, and the president being there, and that shut down some streets it's a little bit of a mess up there for tonight. But anyway, this team is mature enough to handle not being just told how great they are and to take anything from it. If they didn't take their foot off the gas and are up 3-0 against the Sixers and Cavaliers when those teams had no shots at coming back, they're not taking their foot off the gas here. I'm going with the Knicks now. It's at 1.5 right now.
Desperation spot here for San Antonio.
No doubt.
Obviously down 2-0, but Otter likes the Knicks and getting a better price right now than you were at when we put it up at the website. All right, couple of 3 MLB plays.
Yeah, Chris Sanchez, that streak was finally stopped. The scoreless inning streak. He's back tonight on the road. A little bit too much juice for us to pay against our boy, the boy that we always stated. He's got Patrick Corbin. Yeah, it used to be, but this is a mismatch here. Philly's back coming alive as well. So, like the Phillies, -1.5 there. We're going Arrighetti on the road here. Yordan Alvarez, boy, just continues to smoke the bat. Astros have had a rough season to this part, but showing some signs that they're starting to hit a little bit. We're going to go with Arrighetti on the road at the Big A. And then Milwaukee, the most winningest team in the month of May. They've kept it going. They just offered a fresh tweak from Coors Field. We're going with the Brewers on the road, minus 145.
All right. So the Knicks on the hardwood in Game 3, laying 1.5. And then 3 money line plays on the diamond tonight. The Phillies, the Astros, and the Brewers. Where are you tomorrow?
We're at Dozy Place on Government Street in Mid-City.
Awesome, man. All right, Otter, good luck. Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
All right, man. It's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. As always, appreciate Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Tell you every day, name brand tires at wholesale prices. They keep you coming back because they treat you like family. It's easy. Tires are a commodity. Buy the same tire anywhere you go. You buy a Michelin, Bridgestone, BF Goodrich, Firestone, Toyo, whatever. It's the same tire. Go to Shaw Bills or anywhere else that sells your tires. So why do you buy tires at Shaw Bills? 2 reasons. Number 1, Charlie's price match guarantee. Nope, it's part of the Charlie's doesn't. Buy tires at Shaw Bills. If you buy tires at Shaw Bills and you see that tire advertised cheaper somewhere else, they will refund you 125% of the difference. They're just not going to be beat on price on the tires. That's 1. 2, they're going to give you exceptional customer service. So when you need an oil change or your wiper blades change or anything to do with your vehicle, you're going to keep going back to Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. All right, y'all. It's just about going to do it for us as we get on down the road here. Remember, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Brett Golf. Gabe Feldman, sports law professor, was here in hour number 1. Ross Dellenger was here a bit ago. You just heard from Cade Cooper, LSU wide receiver commit. Ton there. It's all for you for free on demand podcast, YouTube. Just search After Further Review. Buse Pauly, thanks. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Spell it out, FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Just 4 words, FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. First call should be to First South Farm Credit. So log on to FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Great resource right there on the homepage. It's the ultimate land buying guide. Look, a lot of people who buy land already own land. Right, so maybe you've been through the process before, or you want to take some of your equity from your current property, roll it into your new property. One way you can do it. But the thing that's most important to know is if you're thinking of buying land, if it's the recreational property, your hunting property, you want to buy 100 acres to build your family's dream home, a land loan is different than getting a home loan. So work with an expert that professionally all they do is help Louisianians buy land. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. First South Land, FirstSouthFarmCredit.com.